Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. I'm in Norwich, Connecticut. I'm going to take a drive to Ledyard, Connecticut. I have a certain amount of time that I can spare this afternoon. It is 2:32 p.m. right now. I'm on Ferguson Avenue, and I'm getting onto West Town Street in the Norwich Town section of Norwich, Connecticut. I'm going to take the long way to Ledyard. I normally would go on 395 and work my way over there. But if I go on 395, that's going to ruin my camera lens. And it's going to get splattered with water and dirty whatever, stuff that cars throw out from melting and things like that on 395. Experience tells me don't do that, otherwise the video is going to come out terrible and it will be unusable. So I have to kind of work my way through the city and Laurel Hill and down to Ledyard that way, past the former Norwich Hospital, things, whatever. That way, that's the way I'm going. And then I'm going to drive a little bit. I don't have tons of time, but I'll drive a little bit around Ledyard. I haven't done Ledyard. I haven't given Ledyard enough attention. Obviously, there's still mountains of snow all over the place, so I got to be mindful of people in front of me not driving through big puddles of melted snow and splashing all over the place, ruining this camera, at least the visuals. But it's 35 degrees when I left the house, which is really fantastic news for this area because it's been single digits, and just an Arctic blast. Everywhere I look, I'm looking at houses. This is my latest kind of observational, self-imposed study. I'm looking at ice dams because I know some people in Norwich that have had leakage inside the home from the ice dams. And we haven't had that in many years, but it can really do serious damage. And there's no miracle easy solution. You can insulate your attic, you can ventilate your attic, whatever. There's things that you can do, but even then, I've seen brand new houses, brand new construction, just built last year with ice dams. They're up to code. Everything is, properly insulated, properly ventilated. Still get ice dams. So I've always said about ice dams, the number one factor in whether you get ice dams or not is luck. Now, I know somebody with an attic that is completely uninsulated. You would think, wow, they must have the worst ice dams ever. What happens is the ice melts very quickly from underneath because it's warm air going up there. And it has a tendency to melt the snow much quicker than if it was insulated. The snow just kind of stays there and may slowly melt due to sun, due to some minor heat leakage up there, not as aggressive as somebody with no insulation. And they didn't have any ice dams. So, I'm sure if you've got a mechanical engineer, it's very... I'm looking all over the place. There's ice dams I would say the vast majority of houses around here. This is just me looking up. Okay, there's a guy with zero snow on his roof. He could have had the roof cleared. That's the number one way to never have an ice dam. Like if you get, we had 16 inches of snow. The number one way to have no ice dam problems is clear the snow off the roof. That's not easy. Clearing, I mean, it depends on your house. If you have a tiny little house with a small roof, you get a roof rake, you can do it. But if you have a substantial roof that's on a second, 2-story, way up, you can't reach, you got to go up a ladder, and you have ice dams, it's going to be a monumental project. So ice dams, there's nothing easy. I had tons of insulation put in a few years back. One section of my house, no ice dams. The other section, minor ice dam activity that is not problematic. When I had a new roof put on, okay, this is very important, especially in Connecticut. I don't know if it's code or not. It should be. Before they put the roof on, they should put rubber barriers. Now, I think code or the standard practice is 3 feet of rubber impenetrable cover, or it's a barrier. Man, oh man, this is deadly slow. I could be sitting here all day. I mean, the light was red, green, and I moved a couple of car lengths. Hopefully I make it the next time here. But the rubber barrier, very, very important. My roofer, fantastic guy. I love the dude. I mean, he went above and beyond. His crew was amazing. No longer in business, but, at the time, he put in 6 feet of the barrier. So that prevents me from getting, any water leaking into the house. Unless here's the thing, like we got 16 inches of snow. Let's say a week later we got another foot of snow. And then 5 days later we got 8 inches of snow. And then 3 days later we got 6 inches of snow. And then 2 weeks later we got another 10 inches of snow. This keeps piling up. If it's a well-insulated attic and everything, it's never going to melt, or it's just going to sit there as it builds up and up and up. That's a recipe for ice dams under almost any conditions. I mean, it's extremely hard to get around that. I mean, again, I'm looking at houses around here. Some of the houses there's so many factors involved. Which way is the wind blowing? Which way is the house pointing? North, south, east, west? The affected roof. Look at its light. Like 3 seconds, and it's, man. This is okay. I'll make the next round, but wow, monumental waste of time. Well, whatever. We'll sit here and scope out cars going by in front of us. But anyways, that's the ice dam situation. It's just, if you have a house right now and water's leaking inside, it would be on an exterior wall. That's because of the ice dams. Right now, it's 30, well, my car says 39. 35 when I left the house, according to the National Weather Service. So that's enough for things to start to melt on the roof. Underneath the snow, you could have like a foot of snow up there. Underneath it is slowly melting, and all that water, it's a massive area, that roof, it's pitched down. It trickles down to where the gutter is, and there's already ice there, and it hits it and it instantly freezes. There's usually an overhang. The roof overhangs, and underneath that overhang it's not it's just open to the elements, let's put it that way, as far as temperatures and things like that. So the ice, that's where the ice would freeze. It's very cold there in the gutter and all that. Jesus, I mean, it's some of the way these people drive. They head right at you. They're looking at their phone, texting. It's unacceptable to me. But man, I'm looking around. The guy to my right back there, mega ice dams. the guy to the right there, and it's just, they're all over the place. I mean, there's got to be people that, you know, are suffering from water leaking. I'm going to take the quickest route through the city. Yeah, let me go hit Laurel Hill, and I'll go to Ledyard that way. I'll just cover a couple roads in Ledyard, and then I'll head back. I don't have time. You know, again, I have some time, but not tons of time. So we're on Washington Street, Chelsea Parade to our left, Blackstone Apartments to our right. Nice green light. Make up for lost time back there. We lost a little bit of time in those near Bacchus Hospital intersection. But, you know, the ice dam situation is extremely complex. There's no easy answer. There's a company, I don't know if they're around Norwich or not, but it's a roofing company that'll come out to your house and will steam the ice off of the gutters, and that solves the problem. But anyways, as I was saying a minute ago, before I almost got in a head-on collision, the water slowly melts under the snow. You can't see it. All this stuff is going on, and it works its way down to where the gutter is, and it hits the ice and it freezes again. So every night this happens, or day, night, whatever. At nighttime it's much colder, there's no sun, so things really freeze. So you get melting, refreeze over the course of a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever time frame. It builds up into a big giant ice dam. And they call it an ice dam because it blocks water from going, it blocks anything from going past it because it's a dam. It's a 6-8 inch thick chunk of ice. I mean, I dealt with these things years ago before I had the new roof put on. I was up there with a chisel. That doesn't do a lot. I mean, if you, number one, you can destroy your roof if you kind of mess up, and you know, you can chip the ice, but it's extremely dangerous, extremely difficult. I absolutely don't recommend anybody do it. What I did end up doing, and I don't recommend this either, but I did it. I went up there with, I think I have a 40-gallon, whatever amount of gallons my hot water tank is. And I just took the hose and I put water, boiling, I don't know about boiling, but extremely hot water onto the ice dams. Man, oh man, look at these lights. Woof. We're whipping through everything right here. All right, so we're on Laurel Hill. I'm going to work my way up all the way down to Ledyard. But I put hot water on the, and it took a while. This isn't some 2-second, you know, boom, squirt, and it's all over. I was putting hot water through a garden hose, which is not really made to take hot water, so you got to have a garden hose that can take high temperatures. And it melted the ice dams. But I could only get so far with this, but it melted the ice dam. You know, a channel, what you want are channels from the upper portion of the roof to the gutter, and all the water will just come rushing out once you relieve that, once you make a channel, as I drive on Laurel Hill Avenue. So that channel will release all the water. There's also a thing that I did. It's some kind of a salt, or sodium something. I think sodium chloride. I don't know the name of it, but they sell little things that look like hockey pucks, or you can get the actual salt, and people put them in like pantyhose or a tube socks or something, and you place it across the gutter up and down, and it burns a channel, and it won't harm the roof. There's a certain chemical, I don't know the name of it, but certain particles of whatever it is. It's a, you know, physical, tangible, it's not a liquid, that will over time melt through the ice and make a channel. it takes a while. Sometimes it doesn't do anything. Sometimes it works great. Sometimes it doesn't do anything. Like I say, ice dams is one of the most difficult, infuriating problems. You could get somebody to come up your house, put negative air, put a fan in a window and have negative air and do heat tests and negative pressure and all this stuff, and then insulate beautifully, seal everything off, put ventilation, soffit vents and fans and the whole 9 yards up in your roof. And next winter comes by, you get a couple of feet of snow up there, and you look up and you go, wow, I still got ice dams. It's like there's no miracles. I mean, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Like I said, the most important thing, luck. I look to the left and I look to the right. I say ice dams all over the place. Now I'm on Laurel Hill Road. It goes from Laurel Hill Avenue to Laurel Hill Road. Right in the middle of nowhere. Just boom, there it is. But the conditions are good for recording video. It's overcast, which is my preferred. Wow, there's a guy doing tree work over there, which is my preferred conditions for recording. I hope the sun doesn't come out. It could. I hope it doesn't. We're going to go through. Down this hill is going to be the former location. Well, it's the location of some remaining buildings of the Norwich State Hospital. To the left, you can see that building. That's the Bryan building. It's falling apart. Everything down here is just, cratering into the earth, basically. To the left, you'll see a building. That's the employees' residence. I lived there at one time. It's hard to see. You can see it through the trees a little bit to the left. And next one down is Martin House. To the left. To the right, there's Lippitt building. Surgery building, medical building. They actually did lobotomies back there when they were considered potentially helpful, or the theory at the time when they were doing lobotomies, a lobotomy is neurosurgery. It's brain surgery. There were different types of lobotomies, different methods of practice, surgical practices, but the idea was sever a certain portion of the brain, separate it from another portion, and it could, in theory, alleviate somebody's, schizophrenia or maybe aggressive violent behavior. I'm going back to the, 40s, 50s, whenever they were doing lobotomies. And then they were banned at some point due to the perceived cruel nature of it. But, again, we're in the modern era now, so if somebody has a mental illness like schizophrenia or whatever the case may be, there is no physical surgeries that I'm aware of that they do, neurosurgery. There's treatments with medications and obviously therapy with psychiatrists and psychologists that can be very beneficial. But diseases like schizophrenia, as far as I know, there are no cures. There are treatments. These are treatable, lifelong treatments that, get better every year with different discoveries of new medications. But way back in the old days, they did all kind of stuff. They were trying to. Norwich Hospital was around, I think, since 1903. So this is pre any medication. There would be unmedicated people. I think there were over 3,000 patients there at one time. And pre-medication, they would do things like hydrotherapy, which I believe involved putting people in very cold water. It sounds cruel. They did wet sheet packing, which they would wrap a person in wet sheets in layers. You might want to look that up on the web and look into wet sheet packing. I mean, if you have any interest in that. Other therapies where they injected people to, I forget what it was, something to do with like almost put them into a diabetic coma, or I don't, some of this stuff I kind of, I don't remember the details on it, but it was always talked about by a lot of the guys. When I started working there, some of the folks, the old timers that were there for, 35, 40 years prior to me, they saw it all before medication. So this is Route 12, David's Cafe, Golden Pizza on the right. Let's see, I got to avoid some of this water on the road here. What other therapies did they have at Norwich Hospital? They had shock treatment there. I mean, again, this sounds cruel, this sounds harsh, but these are doctors, some of the finest doctors in the country, in the world, doing this stuff. That the theories and everything that they had at the time with lobotomies, shock treatment, hydrotherapy, wet sheet packing, there were legit theories for the information that they had at the time that this stuff could potentially be beneficial, and it wasn't done, oh wow, let's just do horrible things to people and see what happens. It wasn't that. I mean, most of this stuff didn't work. Shock treatment exists today. It's much different. It's done in a safer manner than it used to be done. It's sedation. You don't even know you have it. Very low amounts of electricity are used or whatever, but it can be extremely effective with depression that doesn't respond to medication or any other kinds of therapy. So again, now if they continued to do lobotomies and maybe progressed with neurosurgeries and things, I have no idea. I'm just saying, it was stopped abruptly, so you never know what could have happened. Is it possible that surgeries could have got so good, not lobotomies, but some form of neurosurgeries, brain surgeries could have got so good that they could have cured or had a permanent fix for something like schizophrenia? I mean, Parkinson's disease, I've seen brain surgery on some types of Parkinson's disease that were effective. Again, it's not a cure. As I drive down Route 12 in Ledyard, Connecticut. Gales Ferry is part of Ledyard. Let me take a right down this. Okay, we're in Gales Ferry right now. I'm going to drive down to where Valides used to be. All right, let's see here. Yeah, this is River Drive. This is really cool. This little road, all these houses are on the river. I mean, directly on the road. The river looks frozen over. I mean, I don't know if it's possible it does look, wow, the whole river from here, I mean, you can't see it because I'm turning my head to the right. The whole river looks frozen over. I certainly wouldn't go out there. I mean, I wouldn't try to see if it's, safe and it would hold the weight of a person. I wouldn't do that ever in a million years. I mean, but that's kind of a surprise to see the Thames River. I mean, it's, the bitter cold temperatures. But that's alleviated over the course of the next several days. It's going to be in the 30s, mid-30s. Next week we're looking at mid-40s for a couple of days, so things are looking up with regards to people that don't like single-digit temperatures all the time, and I'm one of those people. Cartway, the former Cartway is up here. They used to have go-karts, and you can go up and hit a batting cage with baseballs. I got a video on that if you're interested. I mean, if somebody's listening to this thing right now and they go, wow, I'd love to see that. I actually have a video where I walk around Cartway. It's still there. It's not opened. It hasn't been opened in many, many years, but it's still there. Everything is just there, sitting there. Ice cream. There was an ice cream and probably hot dogs, hamburgers, whatever stuff that they serve there. That's there. The sign is there. When I drive down there, you'll see the sign that says Cartway. Everything's getting all worn out, but it's there. So the perfect conditions for recording video. It's almost 3 p.m. It's 2:58. All right, let's get over to this Cartway. Validy's used to be to the left. That's a great store, Validy's. Used to get on there all the time. There it is, sign for Cartway. I'm going to be at a red light. Hopefully you can see to the left there. There's an ice cream cone. It says go-kart rides, baseball, dairy, and snack bar. I mean, man, that's legendary right there. Right there. Christie Hill Road. Snack shack or whatever it says. All right, there's the Cartway. It's all, obviously under the mountain of snow. So this is Christie Hill Road. Let's take a drive up Christie Hill Road. The roads are nice and clear and easy to drive. They've had plenty of time to plow everything out. They've done a lot of fine-tuning. Wow. There's a guy over there with an ice dam. Oof. Guy to the right. One of the telltale signs. I mean, I'm sorry for going on about ice dams, but it's kind of my thing right now. I had a very crazy experience with it. To the left up there, you can see the icicles on that tan house. And there's massive ice dams up there. But see, there's the snow. If the snow melts a little bit more, you don't have to worry about it. I can see why they call this Christie Hill Road. This is a heck of a hill. This is like straight up. A lot of, real residential. I don't know. I can't say I've never been up here. It's been a while. There's a Baptist church up here. To the right, back there a little bit. School bus stop ahead. This is a twisty turn, hilly road, but very beautiful neighborhood. All right, this seems to be, okay, stop sign. Where do I go? Left, right? Feels like I should go left. Ooh, not easy seeing around these giant snowbanks. I'm going to lay back. a little bit. I don't want to get splattered with water. This is Long Cove Road. I am not familiar with this. I'm in Gales Ferry, you know, Ledyard, whatever, right now, so I don't know. These guys are turning left. Vinegar Hill Road. Vinegar Hill Road, I guess. I don't know where this is going to end up. Okay, this is still Long Cove Road. Back there, if I took a left, that was Vinegar Hill Road. If I'm pronouncing it properly, if I just glanced. But I'm kind of... You know, there is a absolute solution for ice dams. They use it in Canada and, you know, Vermont, you know, ski lofts and whatever, New Hampshire, things like that. It is you put, I think it's aluminum, if I'm not mistaken. I looked into it one time. Aluminum, it's kind of thick, maybe a 1/4 of an inch thick aluminum plates or whatever. They look kind of cool, actually. They go over the gutters, or they whatever. They're in the area of the gutters. And they are powered by electricity. They, you know, wire them to your panel, electrical panel, and there is voltage that goes to them that puts them on. It heats them up. I mean, it doesn't get like red hot. You can't cook an egg on the thing, but it just puts enough of a little heat where it melts absolutely everything, guaranteed. Now, I mean, I've seen them on YouTube. I forget what these things are. I forget the names of this company, or I'm sure there's more than one company that does them. But I kind of looked into it at one time. It's nothing I've ever seen done around here, because this is a problem that we don't have. Like Canada, you're going to have this potential for ice dams all the time. And it's something that they would do. For my house, I mean, this is going back probably 10 years or more. It would have cost me $35,000 to have these installed. And the guys they're not even like enthusiastic about doing it, because this isn't an area, you know, they have tons and tons of work installing those in other states. The house to my right back there had extreme ice damming and extreme icicles. I should, you know, I tend to title these drives, I could call this the ice dam lobotomy drive. Let's take it real slow. This is interesting. We have some turkeys. Wild turkeys right there. Let's get this on video. I'm going to get as slow as I can right there. Wild turkeys. I hope I captured that clear enough, because that was pretty cool. There's a sign on my right. This is a good Connecticut sign. Horse crossing. So there must be stables or something down here on Long Cove Road. Mystic Valley Hunt Club to my right back there. Oof. Splashing through water. Fire danger. I don't think so. Not today. There's a sign over there that says fire danger. Not today. There's a fence with barbed wire. That's probably a reservoir or something to my left. I don't know. I'm speculating. And there's a big, what looks to be some kind of a dam. I would say that's a reservoir. Frankly, I have no idea where I'm going, but let's get some content. Let's get some video content for YouTube. Boy, I'd love to see a sign. Wow, okay, there is a body of water over there. I wish there was a sign that told me what it was, but there isn't. I'm gonna go with reservoir because it's, you know, it's barbed wired in. Leaving public water supply watershed area. So yeah, if anybody knows the name of it, drop me a line. More, you know, I've been driving through these neighborhoods, residential kind of you know, real nice houses and everything. Now I'm on Gales Ferry Road, so I've been driving on these back roads. There's thousands of houses back here. I'm assuming a lot of people work at Electric Boat. You know, there's military installations around here, so, you know. Pfizer, you know, there's a lot of big employers in this area, so. All right, something coming up here on the right. Looks like a baseball field. And I don't see a sign. Wow, I gotta make a decision, left or right. North Road, I have no idea. I'll take a right. I don't know where I am. Gales Ferry Road, so that's Gales Ferry, Ledyard. I might be heading towards Mystic. All right, there's a sign. This is great. This is going to tell me my situation. Take a left to Old Mystic, right to Groton. Okay, yeah, I know where I am. I haven't been down here in years. Basically, I'm going to turn around and head back. Yeah, I'll turn around here. I'm going to head back. If I go straight, it's going to, excuse me, it's going to bring me into Mystic. And I don't have the time to do that. Excuse me. Okay, Gus's Pizza. Right there. Barbershop, different things down here. Night vape and cigars. Gus's Pizza. There's a Gus's Pizza in Plainfield. I don't know if it's the same family. I have no idea. But I hope I can exit this way. It doesn't say do not enter. All right, let me work my way out of here. Okay. There's a Gus's Pizza in Plainfield. I may have told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again. It's quick. My wife and I went to Gus's Pizza one day. I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, whatever. And we were really hungry, so we ordered a pizza. They had small, medium, large, and extra large. These are the sizes. So we were very hungry, so we ordered an extra large pizza. Then the woman, the waitress, she kind of looked at us like, you know, it's kind of unusual, but she brought the extra large pizza to us. It was, you know, just two people sitting at a small table, but it was almost the size of the tabletop. I mean, you had to kind of, you know, work around the logistics of exactly how are we going to plate these pieces of pizza. Wow. Behind a school bus, this could be interesting. Well, we'll see the kids getting off the bus. You know, a slice of Americana. So we got the pizza in extra large. It was huge, but really good food. I mean, Gus has been there and Plainfield's been there many decades. I don't know the, you know, date that they opened, but it's a long time. So we were eating the pizza and we were kind of, you know, getting stuffed, basically. But there were a few more pieces where we're like, you know, should we finish this thing off? I mean, this is kind of like a little over the top here. And we did finish it. Kind of a mistake, personally. If I had to do it again, I wouldn't have. I would have just taken the pieces home. The waitress comes back. She kind of looks like, wow. My wife asks, has anybody, any other couple or two people ever come in before and ate an entire Cooper's Tree Farm to the left, by the way, if that means, you know, that could be a landmark. Has anybody, a couple, not 6 guys or, you know, some people, 2 ever polished off one of these extra large pizzas before? And she's thinking to herself, let me think. She goes, yeah, I think there was a couple of big bikers that came in here one time and polished one off, and a couple of, you know, big football players from some, I don't know, college, local, high school, whatever it was. That's all she could remember. She was kind of amazed. I remember walking out to the parking lot. I was like, whoa, that was a mistake. Okay, I got to lay back on this bus a little bit. It says Ledyard Town Line, so incorporated 1836. So we just crossed into Ledyard. So I must have been in, I don't know, Old Mystic or I have no idea. So now I'm in Ledyard again. This is Center Groton Road. Okay, I could have been in Groton back there. Center Groton Road. But anyways, I'm kind of glad I got that pizza story on record. Veterinary hospital to my left. I got the extra large pizza. I mean, we didn't leave a crumb, okay? But yeah, walking out to the parking lot, getting into the car was kind of, you know, I definitely knew that I just ate an extra large pizza. Let's put it that way. So I don't recommend that size if anybody's contemplating that. But we're in Ledyard right now. Cruising down Center Groton Road on a perfectly overcast day. Guy to the left of me, no ice dams. Next house, loaded with ice dams. Same type of house, constructed probably in the, I would say, 60s, mid-60s or whatever. So there's no rhyme nor reason to why one guy has them. It has to do with insulation. It has to do with a zillion factors. I mean, I wish there was, there is, okay, that there is that answer of the aluminum, I think it's aluminum, heated gutter cover, or it's more than a gutter cover. This is hardcore, you know, $35,000 for a house. So it's not some, you know, little wires or something they put up there. This is serious, you know, very important. It has to be done by an expert because there's electricity involved. You don't want to have, you know, these guys don't want to have the house burned to the ground because of a faulty installation. But I mean, if you want a true solution to an ice dam problem, that's a definitive answer right there. I'm not 100% sure where Center Groton Road comes out. It might, maybe, if I keep going straight, which I'm obviously going to do, this could bring me to, I think, Ace Hardware. Holdridge's could be up here if they're still if it's still Holdridge's. I haven't been up here in a while. I haven't been on this road in several years. I can't recall the last time, so it's been a long time. There's a ancient cemetery to my right. Professional pet grooming to the left. Okay, Ledyard Center. Yeah. Let's see if Holdridge's is still up here. Ace Hardware is definitely here. And there's a sign on my right that says Norwich if I keep going straight. Wow, new gas station. Last time I was up here, that gas station wasn't here. I say new. Colonel Ledyard Highway to the right. That's... I'll explore that in the future. So Ledyard Center right here. Holdridge, yeah, okay, Holdridge's, I just saw a sign back there. So Holdridge's will be up here on the left. And other prominent buildings. There's restaurants, Valentino's, a lot of good restaurants and things right here. You know, gas stations. There's I think a school. What is this? Ledyard? I gotta be mindful. Ledyard Police Department is up here. Dime Bank, Ledyard Town Hall. So this is, you know, where the action is in Ledyard. Holdridge, yeah, right to the... Maybe I'll just pull in there for a second, get a look at it. Ledyard Town Spirits. Boy, oh boy, do I really want to turn in here? It's going to take me forever to get out of here. Let's do it. There used to be a guy that did frames on the right there. He was really the best. I don't know whatever became of him, but boy, they were. So there's Holdridge, Home and Garden, and Ace Hardware, kind of a combination. There's Zest Coffee Bar, Resale Therapy. What does it say? Resale Therapy Consignment. But Holdridge, right? Let's see. Right on the right-hand side there, Holdridge. Okay, let's work our way out of here. And looking around these snowbanks. Not easy. Wow, a former gas station in front of us there that's now, I don't know, maybe there's a couple of cars there. So let me wait it out here for a little while to jump. I gotta take a left, so this could be... This could be a little wait here. Okay, I see an opening potentially coming up here. Grabbed it. Okay, good. So if I go straight, I mean, I can either take a left or I can go straight. I think I'll go Pocatonic. Tough decision. Let me go left. Gotta be real careful. Oof. Don't want to get that light. All right. So this will put me on, I gotta lay back. This will put me on, what does it say? Wesley J. Johnson Senior Memorial Highway. Now my GPS says Stoddard's Wharf Road. So I'm going to have to believe that to be fact. This is another windy, hilly, kind of narrow road. And the person behind me wants me to drive real fast. But you know what? It ain't gonna happen. If I happen to slam on the brakes because of a deer crossing or something like that, the person behind me is going to bash into my car because that's how close they are to me. So I'm just going to go out there and state the fact that the person that is right behind me right now is not driving appropriately. That's about as kind as I can put it. As we continue down Stoddard's Wharf Road. 3:22 p.m. as the person behind me's blood begins to boil. I mean, I'm going faster than the speed limit. Oh good, a school bus. We come to a complete stop. Well, okay, I guess not. He dropped a kid off and now he's resuming his... I gotta lay back. I don't want to get splattered. You know, in certain scenarios, I would pull over and let this person pass me, but guess what? There ain't nowhere to pull over. Okay, what is this? Joshua's Limousine. Wow, there's a limousine service over there. Well, we do have casinos around here. Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun, so they probably have need for limo service in this area. Well, to the right, big cemetery. You just got to proceed with caution when driving in these conditions, because you never know, with all this snow and there's no ability to, quickly pull over to avoid something, or, extreme caution is the coin of the realm in this kind of situation that we have with this elevated snow totals and freezing, thawing conditions, All right, I see a landmark down there. It's a steeple of a church. So that's going to put me out onto Route 12, I think. Big high school to my left. It's got to be Ledyard High. I mean, I'm speculating. I don't know that for a fact, but... Wow, the guy's actually turning. So the guy that was riding my tail is now gone. Directly in front of us, if you see that white through the trees, that's the Thames River, if you can believe it. It's all frozen over. I mean, that's like going back to I remember seeing pictures from the early 1900s, late 1800s, of people skating on the Thames River. That's, you gotta go, oof. I don't want to get splattered, that guy in front of me there. I gotta be, I mean, it's dead frozen. Can't say I recall seeing the Thames River frozen from one side, the Ledyard side. The other side of the river would probably be Montville, I believe. So we're on Route 12. Stoddard Hill Park is down there. They rehabbed that whole thing. The road was falling apart. They redid the whole thing. It's needed it for probably 30 years, but it's been done. North Glenwoods Road over there. That's, the Glenwoods neighborhood. So I'll work my way back to where I began the video, Norwich Town. And hopefully this camera recorded. I'm not always 100% sure, but it's 36 degrees. Holmberg's Orchard to the right. If you live anywhere around here, or even if you don't, if you're on visiting or on vacation, you got to go to Holmberg's in the summer and the fall, whenever they're picking, anytime. Even now, they have beautiful fruits and vegetables in there, but when that orchard's really going, it's great. Okay, we're crossing into Preston right now. So we're in Preston, Connecticut at the moment. On Route 12. So we're back to David's Cafe. There's an incinerator, if you can see that chimney to the left, garbage incinerator. As I can accelerate a little bit here, more of an open road situation. Now I could take a left and go over the bridge. You know, let me... I did Laurel Hill recently. Problem is, if I go over the bridge, I'm risking... I just can't do it. I'm gonna go straight because it's gonna mess up the camera. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I'm gonna go straight. We'll drive through the grounds in Norwich Hospital, the former Norwich Hospital again. And off we go. There's a commuter parking lot to the left. I can see Mohegan Sun Tower to my left. Former location of Kettle Building, Abe Ribicoff Building, Lodge Building, Seymour Building, Kirkbride. I have a video where I walk around grounds and point everything out. Ribicoff Building was interesting. There was laboratories in there, and there was more of a medical. There was a morgue. I mean, it was a medical building. That was one of the newer buildings. Kettle was one of the newer buildings. It's probably built in the late 50s, maybe. Two Jewish cemeteries here to the left, and there's also I believe it is maybe an Avery cemetery back there, a colonial cemetery. Administration building to the left. A lot of buildings have been demolished. To the right with Pathway, that's no longer there. I have some coverage of Pathway on my YouTube channel. So we're in Preston now, we're in Norwich. We just crossed into Norwich. And I'm going to work my way back. Military Highway, otherwise known as Route 12. Right up here to the right is where the CEO of Norwich Hospital used to live. Okay, that welcome sign right there, beautifully painted. To the right, that first house right there to the right, if you can get a glance of it, that's where the administrator, the top guy running the hospital, lived. Their family could live there. And it was a beautiful house. And then, you know, when the hospital closed, it was in disrepair. It fell apart. It was totally untouched for several years, but somebody bought it, fixed it up, I mean top to bottom, and sold it. Now there's a family living there. As I drive down Laurel Hill Road. Laurel Hill Volunteer Fire Company, Incorporated, over there to my left. So 2 ways to solve your ice dam problems. Number 1, get all the snow off the roof. That's a guarantee. That's extremely difficult. And if you get multiple snowstorms, that's all you'll be doing. Number 2, spend 35 grand. That's 10 years, maybe 40, 50 grand by now to get those aluminum melting, platters or long. I would love to have them. I mean, you flip a switch. And there's another thing. I mean, it's going to cost you on your electric bill. It's not going to be cheap because you're talking about heating a large area. So this, it's not just, oh wow, the installation costs a fortune. There's ongoing costs. But it works beyond the shadow of a doubt. I've seen videos and it's absolutely, that is a 100% guarantee of success. Depends on how much cash you want to shell out. Laurel Hill Avenue, that's where we are right now, Norwich, Connecticut, as we make the journey back to where we began this video, which was Plain Hill Road, I think. Was it? Somewhere around there. Ferguson Avenue, whatever, one of them. Once I get back to that location, I will then terminate the proceedings. But it's 3:34. I gotta get home. Thames Valley Fire Protection vehicle in front of us. There's a logo off to the side that shows a kind of like a sprinkler system in a building. So, obviously if there's a fire, the sprinkler system goes off to try to prevent that. Good view from Laurel Hill up here. All right, so let me take a left. Ugh, just missed. Well, we're first in line. We can watch the traffic. And we do have a view of some buildings. And obviously I have my turn signal on, and I hope you can hear that in the background. I'm looking at the back of the Reed and Hughes building. That was rehabilitated from top to bottom, and there's people, several apartments in there. There's people living in there now in the apartments. That was a very important project. And whoever did, I don't know who the contractors were. I wish I knew the names. They did absolutely spectacular, beautiful work restoring that building. I mean, that was in rough shape, and they restored it. I mean, I think beyond anybody's expectations. Okay, we're going over the bridge on Water Street right now. And we're just going to follow this road. Slowly but surely back to Norwich Town. The snow is a drag, folks. Look at it. It's all piled up everywhere. Okay, we had, it was fun for 5 minutes, but it's over. Let's let the melting begin. And the melting, that's always a disaster. Things melt, freeze over the roads. Oh, God. Make sure you have enough windshield wiper fluid. You'll be definitely needing that. There's that empty Christ Episcopal Church to the left. Absolutely beautiful historic church, no longer in use. I like to see a company take it and do something with it. Make it into condominiums, apartments, I don't know, something, a concert, whatever. I mean, do something with it. If it just sits there forever, it's going to fall apart, and it won't take long. See, Xfinity over there working. It's tough for those guys. There's no, you can't pull over, and with all this snow, it's difficult. And what time do we got? 3:38. Blackstone Apartments again, different view from the on our left. On the right is a kind of a good view of Chelsea Parade. If you like Chelsea Parade or you're interested in it, it's a beautiful area. I have a few videos where I get on the ground and shoot videos in the surrounding beautiful homes, historic homes, NFA, Slater Museum. They're short videos, but I kind of like them. They're taken with a bigger, better quality camera, more of a cinematic, feel to it. All right, to my left, the guy doesn't have any ice dams. I wonder what it's an older home with a slate roof with no gutter. Oh no, the gutters they're not traditional gutters. They're kind of built in so you don't see them. Interesting. Well, it's a slate roof, so they had to do different things, They had to get creative back then. Man, look at that traffic. What the heck? I mean, straight ahead of me is like endless. 3:40 p.m. Where is everybody coming from? Maybe first shift at Bacchus just got out or something. We're in Norwich proper right now. Now we're crossing into the Norwich Town section. Right now we're in the Norwich Town section of Norwich. It's another church on the left. It's a Lee Memorial. That's another one that's closed. They should probably, hopefully market that, or I don't know how that works as far as who owns the property or whatever. I don't know, but I hope somebody does something with it. Clark and Company to the right, they just opened, they redid that building. I saw photographs. I haven't been in there. Absolutely beautiful. The construction, the redesigning of the all right, let me take my quickest way out of here. The redesigning and the development of the beautiful, I think it's a cafe, bakery, whatever, food that they serve in there. Beautiful, beautiful work. Very, very impressive. And we're going to wait for the green light here. I'm going to go left. And maybe I'll get on Contrabando Avenue and drive back to the Norwich Town. We'll be back in no time. And if I got lucky, the video camera that I'm using right now actually recorded. This camera, I mean, it's the only one I've ever used on every single one of my driving videos. I mean, it's got tens of thousands of miles on it. And it's been exposed to the elements with a screen or a lens cover that's built into the camera that has never been damaged by, let's say, being struck by a pebble or, I don't know, and you just bug strikes, whatever. It's in perfect condition after, you know, when I say tens of thousands, I'm not exaggerating. Tens of thousands of miles. I want to lay back because I don't want to have that fluid get on the lens. We're going over the Yannick River right now. To the right is Stop and Shop and a bunch of stores, Norwich Town Commons. But this camera has tens of thousands of miles on it. If you ever look at my videos, going back 10 years or more, maybe 11 years, some of it I used to record not in high definition because it was too, before high-speed internet uploading and everything, it would take you days to upload a video if you shot in high resolution, 4K, high definition, or, high. I always shot in HD. That's 1080p. That's like standard TV. It's very clear. Compared to the TVs when we were kids, they were not crystal clear. Like if you watched Ed Sullivan, it was not crystal clear compared to what we have now. It's ridiculously clear. But 4K is even more sharp and clear. It's a lot of people don't like a lot of the anchors and on TV and stuff. They don't like it because it makes every pore in their skin visible. So they'll use filters and things like that. But this camera here, I shoot for the past few years. I've been shooting everything in super high definition 4K resolution. Every single one of my driving videos, plus a ton of other videos, have been done with this single camera. I mean, that's, these things can be unreliable at times. They work 99% of the time, but when they don't, it absolutely is just, it's hard to take. Like this drive here, if I did this whole drive and I got home and oh wow, let's put the video on get ready to edit the video. And you see that you recorded the first 4 minutes of the video and then nothing. Okay? That's why, the unreliability. There was a few people that would ski, and one guy did the run of a lifetime. He did some alpine, whatever it was. It was, there was stuff going on, land, avalanches and whatever. He went through the greatest, most, mind-blowing run of his entire life, and he had camera, one of these little action cameras on his helmet, and it stopped working like 2 minutes into the run. So, okay, I get it. He had the fun of doing it and the memories and all that. But the guy wanted to capture a video, and he knew he had the greatest video. This would have been viral. This is it. This is my legacy. This will stand the test of time. 2 minutes of footage, and then it stopped recording. That's, that your faith in that device from that point on is, even if it works 5 years in a row flawlessly on every other conceivable run that you've ever done, it still stings. And it still leaves a little bit of, I wonder if this thing's going to work element to every, run or whatever these people do. This is used for everything. Motorcycles, cars, boats, bikes, guys jumping out of planes, bungee jumping, daredevil stuff, underwater, it's waterproof. These action cameras are used for everything. So they're really a great invention. All right, so we're coming up. We started somewhere around here, Ferguson Avenue, whatever. So yeah, I think it was right around here. This video is over.